Let's pay homage to the lineage gurus, homage to the Venerable Monk Liao Ming, homage to Master Sakya Tsongkhong, homage to His Holiness the 16th Karmapa, and homage to Master Tupten Dorshi. Homage to the three jewels of the altar. Homage to the main deity of the group practice this evening. Siddhikarma Bodhisattva with the great wow. Sumo, Tansen Kacho, Tupten Siddhi, Tupten Karma. All Dhamma masters, Dhamma lecturers, Dhamma teachers, Dhamma instructors, Dhamma teaching assistants, and all disciples present here and over the internet. Good evening, everyone. How do you do?
I stay. Hola amigo, te quiero mucho. Scoin, Ichiwa, Kimochi, Jumi, Yapi, Puri, Komawa.
Just now, the grand ceremony just passed, and around the ceremony, the weather was very cold. And just as the ceremony passed by, just the time when I completed my book number 305. I just completed the book just right after the ceremony, about 2 days ago. 2 days ago. The title is Freezing Point in Seattle. It was really cold. So I thought about, no wonder Siddhikarma Bodhisattva he's the patriarch or the savior of the netherworld and abide amidst the 3 lower realms. Of course, in the 6 realms, there are Siddhikarma Bodhisattva. But we address him as the savior of the netherworld, which is the chief of the 3 lower realms. In hells, thinking about it, there are the 8 freezing hells and 8 scourging hells. It's either very cold or very hot. So the cold during below freezing, every time I stayed out giving blessings on the head, and the 2 hands were freezing, and the bald head, it felt like ice on the head. If you have hair, it's a bit better. But if you have no hair, you can feel that Grandmaster's hand was freezing. Actually, during ceremonies, every time I give the blessing on the head outside, it was very cold. Not just my hands, but those waiting outside also suffers, also very cold. Because their eyes on the ground, and some slipped and fell. So it was cold and freezing and was very uncomfortable. Because many disciples came from Southeast Asia, where they only have 2 seasons. One is hot and one is hotter. And they come to Seattle and it's freezing. And we're I'm not sure how many layers of clothing they've worn on top, and how many for the lower part and how many for the upper part. Every one of them looks like a dumpling, a wrapped dumpling, and still felt cold. So Siddhikapa Bodhisattva in hells, where there are 8 freezing hells and 8 scorching hells. So just thinking about it, that must have been tremendous suffering. If it's cold, it's really cold. It's hot, really hot. And you need to stay in such places. Of course, the spirits would want to leave that place. So this few days I had this idea. We should move to a place where it's like spring all year round. Where? Taiwan. Singapore is a bit too hot. And my age is quite high. I'm quite old, and thinking about moving is rather impossible. Just to fly for a period of time, to skip the cold winter for about 2 to 3 months. That would be rather likely, but moving home would be quite a hardship. We've considered to go to Hawaii. The weather is very comfortable with cool breeze. The ocean breeze is cooling, and not cold. Back then, one time I went to Hawaii. there was a Dharma sister who wanted to buy a small place with a 2-bedroom and 1 living room apartment for $400,000 at the Hawaii Tower for us to live there. But as soon as we got in, we met another disciple from Chicago called Lianhua Xiaoqiu, and she bought the place there too at the Hawaii Tower for over $700,000, and then asked me to check on her feng shui. So I checked on her feng shui, and I was thinking, if I buy this place, then I have no privacy. So I let go of the idea. If we have bought it, it would have been good. It was an offering by a disciple. I flew through Hawaii to Tahiti. And then back to Hawaii, back to America, and then from America to Taiwan. That's when I was in retreat, in the living in seclusion back then. We went to Tahiti and lived there for a while, and I found Tahiti was quite good. The temperature was nice, and Hawaii too. And I have considered San Diego as well. I was thinking about California, but with the wildfire, so I've thought of San Diego. That's not bad. So San Diego and Hawaii are 2 good places. And there's another place called American Samoa. That's American, and that's a further distance from America. And first, it's about our residency, because we hold U.S. passport. So it's better to stay at the American places. But now, thinking about our own age, I found it would be difficult to move home. Many problems. And Simu hiring a caretaker is also not an easy matter. To find a good caretaker, the one that can take care of her 24 hours a day. Now I find it quite difficult to move on. So human life sometimes is like this. Think about it. Back then, if you stayed in Taiwan without moving to America, what would it be like? And then moving to America, what it's like. It's all destiny. because many Southeast Asian disciples wanting to come to America also have difficulty obtaining visas, and they have to fly a long distance, a little bit longer, and not easy for them to come, and it's also quite expensive. Taiwan is good. It's very good, but ... Also, just ... It's unspeakable. I can't really put it into words. Now I find that maybe the best place is Hong Kong. Hong Kong should be the best place. Returning to China is a good thing. There are several cities in China that are good places. But China is also cold. Some part. Returning to China. Now, but Hong Kong is not bad either. Hong Kong is quite good. There's typhoon in Hong Kong. And Taiwan too has typhoon, the same. Does Shenzhen have typhoon? Yes. I might as well go to Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva's a mountain to Anhui province, Mount Jiuhua. Anhui in the Anhui province, there was a long lost friend. In the northern part of Anhui called Huangbei. Was it? The symbol word for Anhui. So the northern part of Anhui go to Mount Jiuhua. Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva would like it most. He is the yidam of my vows. So let that disciple find a way for me. I'll go to Anhui. I want to go to northern Anhui, Huangbei. Mount Jiuhua is the place that I long for, because I long for Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, because it's the yidam of my vows. And Golden Mother's peak of Mount Kunlun would be very difficult to reach, right? And Amitabha Buddha's Western Pure Land, Sukhavati, of course, that's my origin. But that's after I discard my physical body before I can go there. But Mount Jiuhua of Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva, I can go with my physical body. So Siddhigarbha Bodhisattva's Anhui would be better. So if you have ways, think about it. Find ways for me.
Go to river of Star. 回归星河之前
before returning to the River of Stars, if I can visit Mount Yuhua in Anhui, is one of my wishes. There is Siddhikapa Bodhisattva there. It's one of the 4 major Buddhist mountains. Siddhikapa Bodhisattva's spiritual center there. You should go there. That's my yidam. Places I am nostalgic about. Now let's not be so serious. Let me share some jokes. The first time I visited my girlfriend's home, Xiaoming was chatting with the girlfriend's dad, and then her mom brought a plate that looked like braised meatballs, and said, "Tong Tong, come and eat." And the girlfriend and her dad did not, just completely ignored it. So I was thinking, I have to show some respect and appreciation to the future mother-in-law, so I took one and put it in my mouth. And then I found out that it turned out that Tong Tong, the name, was the name of the dog. Xiaoming, you're already 30 and you're not married. How can you live? How is your future? And Xiaoming told the dad, I don't want to get married. I feel upset every time I see women. And the dad said, do you feel upset seeing your mom too? Don't you feel that way? And the dad said, I guess so. If I'm single now, I can go to the east, to the west, to the north, to the south. That's how life is. Every time we try to find we are creating our own problems. Although we know it's problematic, but we still create the problem again. The husband asked the wife, where are my shoes under the bed? And the wife said, those are really old shoes. I threw them out. And the husband was really panicky. Hey, where did you throw them? Although they're old, but, we should save money. Let me pick them back. Oh, no need. I have took out all the money from inside them. Two friends are having a dialogue. Hey, brother. It's a long time no see. How is your marriage life? And the husband said, the friend said, no problem. I just changed a few mother-in-laws. Wow, you're God, admirable. And then he said, no, it's my father-in-law who's incredible. Now we'll get to the main subject. Question from Singapore, Lianhua Rui Yi. Respected Grandmaster, thank you for your teachings. I wish you could help. In Grandmaster's 296th book, A Flower for You, in an article, the grief of Xu Yun, you mentioned that in his meditation, Master Xu Yun in the meditation saw the Buddhist swastika symbol rotating clockwise, change into rotating counterclockwise. And not only that, it was hanging at an angle. Later he realized it was the Nazi Hitler's armband. Xu Yun was able to foresee these things. I have noticed that the swastika symbol on most Buddha statues is upright but rotates counterclockwise. Should the correct direction should be clockwise or upright but counterclockwise? Are they acceptable? When visualizing Amitabha Buddha, if we imagine the swastika symbol within the heart, which direction should be more appropriate? In Tantric Buddhism, I have talked about this long ago, since long ago. Everything is clockwise. When you are circumambulating, it should be clockwise. If you are circumambulating the mountain or along the lake, always clockwise. Or circumambulating the Buddha, also clockwise. Or the mantra wheel should also be clockwise. It has to be clockwise. They always do them clockwise. If you do it wrongly, going counterclockwise, then generally speaking, is that the right teachings always clockwise. And counterclockwise means it's the deviant teachings. So in the past, in Tibetan, the swastika in Tibetan or in Tantric Buddhism is all clockwise, but for Bonpo tradition, the Bon tradition is counterclockwise. For the Bon, counterclockwise. But all Buddhists would know that everything should go clockwise, because the counterclockwise means it's a deviant teaching. The answer to Lianhua Rui Yi from Singapore. It's a simple question. Right? It should be clockwise. There was an image that was wrong, and it became counterclockwise, and someone saw that. The Nazis, it's clockwise, but not upright. the husband attended the college reunion and got home. And the wife asked the husband, "So, any changes to the school, the beauty?" And then the husband replied, "Oh, she's exactly the same as she was in college before." And the wife said, "You haven't met her for over 20 years and she hasn't changed at all? Did she have plastic surgery?" And the husband just gazed at her and said, "What I was saying, that she ignored me in college and now she's still ignoring me." My friend's feet are very stinky, and one day he was bitten by the poisonous snake, and the snake had to be. It took hours to save the snake because the sting was really bad. These are jokes about the year of the snake. The little snake told the dead, "Are we poisonous?" And the big snake said, "Yes, we do." And the little snake told the dead, "Oh no, take me to the emergency because I just bit my own tongue." Jokes about the year of the snake. Now I will expound on the Vimalakirti Sutra. Maitreya Bodhisattva, upon hearing this, hearing what Sakyamuni Buddha said, then he addressed Sakyamuni Buddha, saying, "World Honored One, this is truly unprecedented. I have never heard of this kind of profound and sublime and transcendental ultimate teaching. Just as Sakyamuni have said, I shall distance myself from such faults and uphold the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi Dharma that the Tathagata has accumulated over countless Ashamkya kalpas." Maitreya Bodhisattva said that he's not an ordinary Bodhisattva. He would, like the beginners Bodhisattvas, Bodhisattvas who just started studying Buddhism, did not or do not understand the ultimate Dharma, like to feel hurt or harm. They should not have such minds, but instead should uphold the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi Dharma that the Tathagata had accumulated over a countless Ashamkya kalpas. Maitreya Bodhisattva said that I should recite, read, uphold such an ultimate sutra, accept, recite, and spread such Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi Dharma. I should not be thinking like the beginners Bodhisattvas. In future generations, for virtuous men and women who seek the Mahayana path, in the future world, if there are good men and women who seek the Buddha Dharma of the greater vehicle, they should obtain such sutras like Vimalakirti Sutra that belongs to the transcendental ultimate sutras. Many sutras are not the ultimate. They are ultimate sutras and non-ultimate sutras. So ultimate sutras can let you attain true liberation. Non-ultimate sutras talk about just the general teachings of the world. So Mahayana sutras are rather closer to the ultimate, and the Hinayana sutras are more non-ultimate. That's such a way of describing. And Tantrayana belongs to Mahayana. It's considered as part of Mahayana. So, man and woman in the future who seek Mahayana path can obtain such ultimate sutras and grant them the power of mindfulness, enabling them to uphold, recite, and expound them widely for the benefit of others. So they will forever support such Buddha Dharma of the greater vehicle. So the future good man and woman can accept, recite, expound this Mahayana sutras for others. And then he continued, telling Sakyamuni Buddha, Lord Honored One, in the future era of the degenerate Dharma, if there are people who can uphold, recite, and teach this Mahayana Sutra to others, know that it is due to Maitreya who established it with his divine power. So it should be Maitreya Bodhisattvas, my divine power, to bless them so that they can accept the Mahayana Sutras. Then Sakyamuni Buddha said, excellent, excellent Maitreya. Maitreya Bodhisattva, as what you have said, the Buddha rejoiced in assisting you. So Sakyamuni Buddha was very pleased to let you establish that. So at that moment, all the bodhisattvas joined their palms together and told the Buddha, after the Tathagata's parinirvana, we too shall widely proclaim and disseminate the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi Dharma throughout all lands in the 10 directions. We will guide those who teach the Dharma, enabling them to obtain the sutra. So all the bodhisattvas present joined their palms and told Sakyamuni Buddha, all the same, after the Tathagata's parinirvana, they want to be just like Maitreya Bodhisattva throughout all lands in the 10 directions to widely disseminate the Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi Dharma, which is the unexcelled perfect enlightenment, the ultimate Dharma. We will also guide all those sentient beings so they can obtain sutras like the Vimalakirti Sutra. That's this passage. Should I finish it? It's very easy. So it's entrustment. Sakyamuni Buddha instructed Maitreya Bodhisattva to do this work. Then the four heavenly kings addressed the Buddha. The four heavenly kings were there too. Mount Sumeru in the four directions, north, south, east and west, and like Dhritarashtra, Vaishravana, Virudaka, Virupaksa, the four heavenly kings. And the four heavenly kings' heavens, those are closest to the human world, but they belong to the heavenly realm of desire. And they also have a huge retinue. So the four heavenly kings told Sakyamuni Buddha, Most honored one, whether in cities, towns, villages, mountains, forests, or wilderness, wherever there is someone who reads, recites, or explains the sutra, we shall lead our retinues to those places to listen to the Dharma and protect those who uphold it. We shall guard the area within 100 yojanas, ensuring no harm comes to them. So Sakyamuni Buddha, at whatever place, whether in cities or towns, villages, mountains, forests, wilderness, if there is someone who reads, recites, explains, or disseminates the sutra, we, the four heavenly kings, will lead our retinues to those places to listen to the Dharma teaching of this person, and protect and support this person. So the four heavenly kings will protect the one who teaches and who listens to the Dharma. Yojana is a measurement of about 2,000 kilometers. So an area 2,000 kilometers around this area, around the person who teaches Dharma. So the demons and ghosts from outside will not be able to disturb these spiritual cultivators, practitioners. Do you understand? So those demons would have no chances to disturb or bother those people. So they set the protection boundary within that area of a person expounding on the ultimate sutras or Vimalakirti Sutra. The four heavenly kings vowed to protect the teaching, the dissemination of the ultimate sutras and those who listen to the sutras. If I continue, that would be the end. At that time, the Buddha told Ananda, You must uphold the sutra and widely proclaim it. So the Buddha turned his head and told Ananda to uphold the sutra, the ultimate sutra, and to widely proclaim it, to disseminate it, this kind of sutras. And Ananda replied, of course, I have already received and retained its essential teachings, Lord Honored One. Of course, I would uphold such ultimate sutras. So Sakyamuni Buddha, what should this sutra be named? And Sakyamuni Buddha said, Ananda, this sutra shall be called the sutra as spoken by Vimalakirti, or the teachings of Vimalakirti. The teachings of Vimalakirti, the sutra as spoken by Vimalakirti, also named the inconceivable liberation Dharma gate. So the true Dharma gate of true liberation, the inconceivable liberation Dharma gate, that's the name of the sutra, and thus should it be upheld. After the Buddha had spoken this sutra, the elder Vimalakirti, Manjusri, Sariputra, Ananda, and all the devas, the humans, asuras, and the great assembly rejoiced greatly upon hearing the Buddha's words. So after Sakyamuni Buddha completed the sutra, the elder Vimalakirti, Manjusri Bodhisattva, Sariputra, the Venerable Sariputra, Ananda, Venerable Ananda, and all the heavenly beings, asuras, humans, and all the great assembly rejoice greatly upon hearing the Buddha's words. And that completes it. That completed it. So I finished it in a short time. How long have I spoken? Have I expounded on the Vimalakirti Sutra? Starting 2022, May 21st.
最近也有一个感觉，
Recently, I have this feeling that everything is just following the affinities and going with the flow, going with Sakyamuni Buddha's Buddha Dharma, and going with the flow of sentient beings, and performing my duties. And every day we have to perform what we should do every day. So the homework for today should be done today. You don't want to procrastinate. We have to complete whatever work we have to do today. So that's following affinities, following others, and then following our roles and duties. following affinities, following others, fulfilling the wishes of others, and then following our duties and roles. That's most important, because I have to complete whatever work I have to do today. And it should not be left for the next day. You should do whatever you're supposed to do, and you should rest when you should rest. And following sentient beings, the wishes of sentient beings, that's what I'm doing. Otherwise, why would I work so hard every day? Other people have retired. What is the retirement age? 65. Retirement at 65. In Taiwan, I am 81. But in US, I am 80. That's long after retirement age. Then I don't have to do all this, but I'm still doing them. I still read letters. I still paint whatever I'm supposed to paint. I still practice. The articles that I'm supposed to write, I still write. I never rest. And following affinities, so don't find it strange, because I just follow the affinities. Some have a better affinity and some less, so please don't feel disturbed. So, because time is limited, I am limited, although the Dhamma bodies can help, but they say, well, they're not tangible. They can't see them. Some can, and some can sense my Dhamma bodies, can feel them. The Dhamma bodies can help, but the true body is only one, and I have not enough time. So in giving consultation nowadays, you have to be fast. One person for 1 or 2 minutes. But outside a grand ceremony period, there are not that many people, so you can ask a little bit more. But around grand ceremonies, there are too many people lining up, not enough time, so please forgive me. I cannot explain very clearly, because I cannot cover them all. And then Qi is also difficult to take care of all the requests. So sometimes he's quite annoyed. If letting them all in, it's impossible to finish. But if not, it's also difficult, because it's cold outside. And sometimes they're let in, but still there's not possible to give the consultation. So please forgive us. Because there's just not enough time. I just cannot handle them all by myself. If I can clone myself, several physical bodies, that would be good. Of course, the Dhamma bodies are split bodies. But they said that they are not so realistic. If you can see Dhamma bodies, please raise your hands. Many of them. And usually they say something. Now nobody raised their hands. And sometimes, normally you would talk about it. Lihai An Li Qing can see. There are disciples who can see, who can feel the Dhamma bodies even more. Although they don't see the Dhamma bodies, they know. Many. It's already maxed out. Yes. I have tried my best. I've done my best. And this true body has age too. Signs of age too. So the energy is not like when I was young. Those from England ask, Master, when are you coming to England? And those from France, when are you coming to France? And then from Holland, South Asia, even more. How come you haven't been here for a long time? How come we haven't been back to Taiwan for over 2 years? I can still fly, but she needs someone to take care of her. So that's how difficult it is. If you can move Simu, then I can go. Like the Taiwan Lizang Temple kept saying, okay, Master, come back to Taiwan Lizang Temple. Of course, if I go there every Saturday, there would be tens of thousands of attendees every Saturday. But Simu cannot go back. She cannot go. So I am concerned about her because when I'm not around, she would fall. And like the other day, I had to bless her, give her blessings. The other day, I attended the Master's meeting only to the Rainbow Temple, and she fell at home already. I asked her to go with me to Rainbow Temple, and she fell. And I asked her to wait for me at the Tenth Chorus, and she didn't go. She was at home, and she fell. But it's fine. After blessings, she didn't have any pain at all. So I went home to give her blessings, and the door at the kitchen, the door fell off. And then my brother Lai to fix it. So the door broke, the whole door. And I went home to bless her. And the bone was crooked. And after she hit, I guess the door, the bone was straightened up. So maybe Medicine King Tara wanted her to bump into that and then straighten up. But no pain at all, even though she had bruises on her half body, but there was no pain. That was strange. So it's a kind of miracle too. And she's old too, 4 years younger than I am. I am 81, and she's 4 years younger. So 70 is also old. We are all aging. So I told Golden Mother, now I've walked to this point in my human life. I have thought about how I should leave the world and how she would leave the world, how I would leave the world. I came across this thought. So, for a human, old age and illnesses are connected. So when you're old, you will be sick. When you're sick, you will become old. You will age. So Sakyamuni Buddha also said that one day he also would leave the Saha world. The same with me. I would leave the Saha world. And it's not that long. Not that long. It shouldn't be that long. Recently, there are a few people who let me feel like the author Chong Yao. The way she left. I felt it a little unbearable because that way of leaving the world is not that good. But she had no choice when she reached that point. There was no other choice for her. And if you die like the Big S, that's a celebrity in Taiwan. She caught flu. And became pneumonia. And within a few days, she died. That's good too. That's what I want. Just get a certain illness and then die within a few days. That's what I like most. Otherwise, you want to attain a Buddhahood in this body or to transform into rainbow light, then I have to find a way to push out the apex, to push the life chi through the apex opening. That's even better. That's in charge of your own life and death. So there's two choices. Otherwise, just walk underneath the Mitsukoshi. You didn't even think about it. You didn't even think about death, and then you died already. The Mitsukoshi in Taichung. Yeah, Mitsukoshi department store in Taichung. And my home is in Taichung. And then just across from Mitsukoshi. And just a few blocks, a few turns from my home to Mitsukoshi. 2 turns. From the front door to the opera center. And then just 1 turn, that would be Mitsukoshi already. So, and if you walk past it at such a time, that would be good. And they would reimburse $10 million. They had like an explosion or something happening there. And you were strolling underneath, and all of a sudden, boom, and you didn't even think about death, and you die already. That would be good too. The death of the small s, no, big S. Or strolling under a Mitsukoshi. And the third kind is to be in charge of your own death. I like these three kinds of ways of dying. And before you even think about it, you died already. The suffering is momentary. Only a few seconds or a few minutes. And you're free. Else, you're in charge. You're in charge of your own death, or just catching flu for a few days. So, I've been thinking about dying these few days recently. It shouldn't be like Chong Yao, because the Buddha said you cannot end your own life. But we are sympathetic toward her because her life became meaningless. One day we will all reach that point, so just take it easy. Take things lightly. Understand that you cannot avoid old age and death. And then, in general, we just follow affinities, following the wishes of others, and just following our roles and duties. And do not force upon anything. Don't force it. So once you reach this age, this is my thinking recently. I often said that life is like the candle, the flame of a candle in the wind. Wealth and riches are like floating clouds. They come and go and gone. Romances are just thunder and lightning. With the strike, it's gone. Fame and prestige, just like blowing bubbles. A few years later, Chong Yao was the most famous. But now nobody mentioned her name anymore. That's why practicing Buddhism is the most important, so we can attain the inconceivable liberation. And we have no attachments toward anything. I have no attachment whatsoever. But before leaving the world, just keep being very busy. And then you have to put down, let go of everything. Om Mani Padme Hum.